Hi, I'm Meredith Blackwell, and we're here at the International Mycological Congress number 12 in Maastricht, Netherlands, and we're doing a program called An Oral History for Mycology, and this will be a part of it. And right now I'm going to talk to Jose about his career in mycology. And why don't you tell us your name, your full name, where you are, where you come from,
Okay.
and start out with that.
Okay. My name is José Solórzano, and thanks for inviting me to the interview. I'm currently at the University of Minnesota in the U.S. I was previously at LSU, where I did mycology, and I currently do plant pathology, but I work with fungi too.
Okay. And so how did you get to LSU?
Long story. I'll make it short. So I was doing my undergrad in Honduras, and I was working with agriculture at the National University of Agriculture. So I got a chance to do an internship at LSU with Dr. Benson Doyle. And so I ended up working with fungi, with Cercospora species. And during my internship, I learned that I wanted to do mycology and continue to research in fungi. So I after did a master's degree with Dr. Benson Doyle, doing mycology work, and one thing led to another, and then I ended up in Minnesota doing plant pathology, mycology research.
Okay, so I have a personal question. What year were you at LSU?
From 2019 to 2021.
Okay, I feel better because I had left LSU before then.
Oh.
So that's why
I remember Benson Doyle and Spencer also talking about you, and I was like, yeah, I want to meet you.
well, here we are.
Here we are.
This is interesting. Yeah, and it was really interesting that after I left, people got more interested in fungi.
Right. Yeah.
Because I was there alone for so long, except for when Kathy Aim was there.
Oh, wow.
She was there for several years while I was. But Benson came along just before I retired.
Right.
And it was nice to know that there was going to be a mycologist
Yeah.
there. And then Spencer is in the museum,
Right,
which was,
right.
this is a museum where everybody works on vertebrates.
Yeah.
But she's working on a
Yeah.
lung disease of vertebrates.
Pneumocystis.
Yeah. So why did you go to Minnesota?
So in Minnesota, there's a new disease called tar spot of corn. So the disease got to the U.S. in 2015, and it was first found in Minnesota in 2019.
Where did it come from? Because that's unusual for it to be found in the northern part of the United States.
Yeah, so the disease was first found in Mexico around 1904, and then the disease spread throughout Latin American countries during the 1900s. And then in 2015, it was found in the U.S., but we don't know how it made it to the U.S.
Yeah. Well, in Latin America, was it found at high elevations or
It's high elevation, valleys,
everywhere?
everywhere, yeah. It's everywhere where corn is found.
Okay.
Yeah, from Mexico to Central America, South America. And then it was first found in the U.S. in 2015, and in Minnesota in 2019. We just don't know exactly how it made it to the U.S.
Yeah. Okay. That's
So the thing is that I grew up cultivating corn in Honduras, and I used to see this disease in my corn when I was a child. So I wanted to know what those tar spots on the corn leaves were. And I remember in school I learned that was a fungus, but I didn't know, yeah, it's a fungus, but I don't know what it is exactly. So throughout like my bachelor's degree, I learned about fungi and pathology, plant pathology. And so when I was doing my master's at LSU, I learned about the position with tar spot at University of Minnesota. So I was like, I want to research that, or I want to study that, because that's something that I used to see when I was a child. And now I can have the opportunity to research and work on this. So that motivated me a lot to go to Minnesota, and I ended up there, and I'm working on that disease, and it's just amazing, the connection.
that's an amazing story, because so was the tar spot originally with corn in Peru?
In Mexico.
In
Mexico. That's what we think.
But it wasn't in Peru.
It wasn't. It
was further.
Yeah.
No, okay.
So it was first reported in 1904, not like as a disease. It is actually in one report from, I think it's from either Germany or the Netherlands, actually. It's in Mycology. I don't remember the name of the article. It's like like a super old report, and they found this tar spot looking fungus on corn, and they named the fungus Phylacra mydes, or Phylacra pathogen of corn. But they didn't know much about it at the time. That was the first time they found this Phylacra species on corn, and then other places started finding the same disease throughout Latin America. But yeah, that was the first time, and
Yeah. Is it spread to is it in Africa or other places?
no, it's just in the Americas.
Just the Americas.
Just in the Americas, yeah.
Interesting.
We're trying to understand the host range, the geographic distribution of the species too. We don't know what it may be, but there are many things we don't know. We're still finding out stuff about this fungus.
Is it on any wild grasses? Or?
I'm working on that right now.
Oh, okay.
So previous analysis of these Phylacra species, there are many other Phylacra that are well known, like Phylacra graminis. It's a Phylacra that grows on different grasses. The thing is that in 2022, there is a researcher that found that a lot of Phylacra species are identical based on ITS and LSU sequences. And the Phylacra pathogen of corn was found clustering with this Phylacra graminis species, like as the same species. But is that true? So we're doing pathogenicity tests and inoculations to understand if that is true. And we're also doing more phylogenetic analysis to understand if that is true. We don't know if it has a bigger host, like a larger, wider host range. We're still trying to find that out.
Who do you work with?
I work with Dr. Dean Malvik.
Okay.
He's an extension plant pathologist.
In what department?
In the Department of Plant Pathology.
Okay.
You might know Dr. Bob Blanchette.
Oh, yes.
He works just next door.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so they do more like forest mycology, plant pathology too. In my lab, they mostly do applied plant pathology. I'm the one who's doing more like mycology, plant pathology research.
And you have some USDA labs there, right? That do a lot of plant pathology.
Yeah. ARS.
Yeah, and then there are several mycologists in either the Bell Museum or in the biology department.
Yeah.
Have you met them too?
I've talked to some of them. Yeah. I know Peter Kennedy. Also, who else?
David McLaughlin?
Yeah. So some. Who else?
What about
Georgina?
Georgina, you've met.
Linda Kinkel.
Yeah, so you're well surrounded. That's great to have a lot of people to talk to.
A lot of people, a lot of resources, structural resources, people. It's amazing.
Yeah. So when you're working with corn, when you were a child, did you know that there was a field of mycology that you might...
I did not. I started learning about microbes and the diversity of life and all the tree of life, like 7th, 8th grade in Honduras, but it wasn't too, like specific. It was more like general concepts about organisms, and we started learning about fungi. But we would mostly learn about those fungi that produce mushrooms, not like plant pathogens.
Yeah.
I was introduced to plant pathogens around 2015. That was the first plant pathology class that I took. And I started learning about fungi and plant pathogens. But early in life, I didn't know exactly what fungi were. I just saw them on corn. I saw tar spot, Phylacra, aspergillus on the ears.
Yeah. Did you have smut?
Yeah.
Did you eat it?
We did. Still mydes.
I ate
it. Yeah.
I ate it in Mexico. I've eaten it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. It's tasty. We did tacos. Yeah.
Well, I ate it in scrambled eggs in Mexico. Is that a common way to do it?
It's common, yeah.
And it tasted like corn to me.
Right, right.
So it absorbed all the smell from the corn.
Yeah, it's good. I like how it tastes, the texture. The tea leaf spores they don't have any flavor. But the outside of the the smart. It
Yeah.
tastes good.
Yeah. So you grew up on a farm.
On a farm. Yeah.
Okay. So your parents were farmers.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. My
okay.
father.
And so was it very common for a child who had grown up working in corn to go on to university?
No, actually not. So my father only he went. I think he finished elementary school. That was it. And my mother finished. She graduated from her
Like high school?
high school, just that. But my mother was always education is key. Is important for you to improve your life
Yeah.
and everything. And then she and my father was also like, you need to go to school because this is going to be important for you to improve and do something different with your life. And that was like that what my father told me before he died. Yeah.
Well, he'd be very proud of you
Yeah.
because you've done this.
Yeah.
But that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And ending up in Minnesota for now.
Yeah.
So when you plan to go home, or do you know?
Probably. I don't know. So I'm almost done with my PhD. I've been looking for jobs, and there are some really good opportunities, either postdoc or industry. We're considering a few options, but we're looking and see.
Yeah.
I've been to Honduras in the past couple months. We have some connections with a lot of people. We do mentoring programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if I don't go back to work in Honduras as a professor or as a scientist, I always keep my connections with Honduran people just to help other people understand the value of education and the value of investing on going to school and learning things.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. My family, my father, his parents. So it would be like the generation before your parents probably. But his father went to third grade and his mother to the 8th grade.
Yeah.
But they encouraged education, and
Yep.
their 6 kids went on.
Yeah. I'm a first generation of not just my immediate family, but
All
like my general family.
everybody you know
Everybody,
almost
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is
all
it-
my friends, I don't know, it was just my mom always like showing me the value of education. And out of, let's say, 95% of my friends that I grew up with, they didn't finish school. And I was the only one who went to university. And I went to university because of multiple scholarships that I got. It wasn't just because my father gave me the money or my mom.
You must have been a good student.
I tried really hard.
Yeah. Pays off.
Discipline and motivation is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
but yeah.
So is it hard to go back home and be with your friends?
Most of them are not in Honduras anymore.
Oh, okay.
And some of them don't even, they're not in my city anymore. So a lot of people, going back to the value of education, a lot of people didn't value that. So they were like, why are you going to go to school if you're probably not going to get paid or you're not going to get a job? So they started looking for jobs outside of the city. They went somewhere else. They left the country, they left the city. And they're working in different places. And so when I go back to my hometown, I don't see them. I only see like 3 of them. And it's just sad sometimes because I don't get to see them at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, I have very few friends left from high school because we're too different now. You know, it's even
Same.
if they live if they've never moved from home.
Right.
It's just that we have different interests.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. So were other crops grown on your farm besides corn?
We have multiple crops. We have common beans. We have squashes. We had avocado, coffee.
You had coffee.
Coffee too.
Yeah.
What else? Guava. We had so many limes,
Wow.
oranges. it wasn't just like a small farm. It was like
It was big.
small patches of a lot of
Okay.
things. Yeah. But yeah, it was my grandparents, my father's house, my father's house. It was like a combination of land, and then we had the land for corn and beans, because that was like the mainstay, staple
Yeah.
food for us. But yeah, it was mostly corn, beans during the growing season, and then coffee around December. That was like harvesting time.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of crops.
Yeah. Well, anything else about your research you wanted to talk in more depth about?
No, I'm just excited about tar spot. It's something I always wanted to learn, and I'm finding out a lot of things. And I'm trying to, when I can, I do extension with people in Honduras so they understand the research that we're doing. So it's more like applicable, like, and translating what we do in English to Spanish so people
Yeah.
understand the things we do, what we find out.
So if you get the infection and you notice it as a child, is it widespread within a field?
Yeah, it's widespread.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does it completely ruin the crop, or can you salvage?
It can completely damage production, can reduce production by a lot. I don't exactly know the percentage, but it can be, even if it is early, if it gets to the plant early in the season, it can be probably about 40% loss.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you find it on one corn cob, do you,
It's on the leaves.
Oh, it's
but
on
it's
the-
in it. I mean,
it
it's
never
on the
gets
stalk.
on
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
it's just diminishing the productivity.
The productive, photosynthesis capacity of the plants. Yeah. So it damages the correct functionality of the plant. That's right,
Yeah.
and it reduces corn seed production.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're finding out a lot of things, and we developed 2 inoculation methods. That was the most exciting thing about it, because people have been trying to develop these methods for the past 100 years. And we just applied a lot of things, mycological knowledge, to develop these 2 methods to inoculate corn plants with the fungus. And we published the methods, and I'm going to be presenting that poster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to cure the disease, you have to cause it,
You have to cause it to understand how it happens.
and that was difficult.
That was difficult. So the fungus, I didn't say this, but the fungus is an obligate biotroph. It's we cannot culture the fungus. So, and the spores of the fungus are difficult to obtain. So that was it. Those were the
Oh, okay.
challenges.
Yeah.
So we had to know how to collect the spores of the fungus, inoculate the plants, and define the environmental conditions necessary for the disease to happen. So I had a 2-year period of time to develop these methods, and then we did it. Multiple
nice.
tests and trials, and we did it. Yeah.
So your lab must be doing well for money to send you and other people here.
I'm the only one
Okay.
from my lab.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
And-
good experience.
yeah. It's I applied for grants to travel,
Yeah.
and present my research, but yeah, it takes a lot of effort.
When I was a student, it was a long time before I went to a meeting because there were no grants for
Grants,
students
yeah.
to go, and I couldn't afford it. So
Yeah,
it was really exciting when I got to my first meeting.
it's always a great experience to go to different meetings.
Yeah.
But yeah, applying for grants, it's a good way to do.
I remember at the time of the first IMA, IMC. It was in Exeter in England. And my major professor was going, so I helped him get ready, and I was so sorry that I couldn't go too. But I got to go to a few
Okay.
later.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, anything else that we haven't talked about? You think's important to talk about?
No. Well, I just want to say that mentoring is a really good way to help people understand different things, to introduce people to a network of other scientists, and for people that go to meetings or conferences for the first time. I think mentoring is a good way to introduce them to your friends and help them be welcome into a community of science.
Did you go to the program on, was it Sunday?
No.
Okay.
Which program?
Was it Sunday for new people at meetings, for young mycologists? I'm not sure what it was called.
Oh, the Young Mycologist talk symposium.
Was that on?
Was I think it was yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday. I did not go.
Yesterday was Sunday.
Yeah, yesterday was Sunday. Yeah, I did not
I
go.
lose track of the days here.
But yeah, I think those things are important. And if you don't know MSA, we develop spores. Spores is a mentoring
Oh, I
program.
know it. I have the little sticker.
Okay, so I was to share the first. So I was the one who led spores the first time.
Oh, okay.
And I was a past vice chair this year.
Okay,
in
so
Canada.
were you at the last MSA meeting?
I was in Canada.
That's why you look familiar to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Because I went and I saw people that were in the spores program.
Yeah, I think I saw you. I just don't remember a lot of people. I just
Yeah.
Right, but yeah, I was in Flagstaff. I was in Canada too. So I've been to all those meetings.
Yeah.
So yeah, we developed spores, and then we were like increasing the spores community too.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe mentoring is a great way
Right.
to.
Yeah, it's really nice that graduate students and postdocs are taking on this project
Yeah.
to have young high school students,
High school
right?
students.
So they're the spores of mycology.
Spores, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, undergraduate students for underrepresented communities in MSA.
Yeah. Very
So
nice.
that's it. That's a little bit about my life and my career as a young mycologist.
Well, you're off to a very good start.
We'll see what happens in the next few years.
It's great to talk to you.
Great
Thanks,
talking to you
Jose.
too.